Hey there! In this video, I'm going to explain data validation in openoffice spreadsheet. So first of all, what is data validation? It's like kind of restriction that you impose on your data to be inserted in a spreadsheet. That means, let's suppose you have in your spreadsheet you want to allow, or maybe don't want to allow certain values. Then you will apply certain validations. So all your data will be checked out. It will be verified across the criteria, across the validation that you have imposed. If the condition is satisfied, the data is allowed to be inserted, otherwise data is not allowed to be inserted. So it will check the correctness, authenticity, or you can say the validation of data as per your conditions. Okay, so let me explain it with the help of an example. And where you can get this option, under the data option in menu bar, you have this validity, and if you click on this, right now it say allow all values. By default, all the values are inserted, are allowed for the entire spreadsheet. uh, let me explain you with the help of an example. So let's say in the first column, I don't want any roll number which greater than 50. So I'm going to create one column, that is roll number, and I'll select this entire column by clicking on the column name. Now this entire column is selected. Okay, so entire column is selected. I go to data, validity. In the validity, I don't want to allow all values, and I assume that roll numbers are like their whole numbers. So I'll pick this option, whole numbers. And what's my condition? Value. I said the value. What was the condition? Roll number greater than 50 not allowed. Okay, that means the roll number has to be less than or equal to 50. So I'll go here. I don't have any option which says that not equal to, greater than not equal to. So I'll choose the other one, the opposite of it, that is less than equal to 50. And if I press, now here's one important thing. If you will press OK, and if you go here, if I insert the value 55, it still accepts the value. The problem is we performed the data validity, but we haven't completed it. Our criteria was right, but in the error alert we have to enable this option. Check the error message when the invalid values are entered. Okay, so in that case, we want what action we want to perform. We have different actions here. Stop means I don't want to allow any other value apart from the criteria. Warning is we'll just give the warning, and warning and information kind of same. We'll give the warning, we'll give the information, but the wrong values will be can be inserted. In the macro, you will define certain function uh, based on the condition that you have met. Okay, so if you want to give, okay, I want to show one error message, I want to stop any invalid value, and say, let's say you can customize your message, and let's say I want to say, okay, roll number error message, don't insert values greater than 50. That was our condition, and just a message that I've just typed here. Okay, and if I press OK, now roll number 55 is still there because now I have applied the validation. So your values will be checked after the validation is performed. It will not like affect the values which have already been inserted into the column. Okay, so it's like a post process. You apply the validation, then you insert the data, then the validation will be checked. If you already have the data, of course it's not going to like uh, going to check the values which are already present there. Okay, so let me add 55 again. If I click somewhere, it says I got the warning, don't insert whatever the message I typed there. If I press OK, see, I wasn't able to enter 55 there. And if I say 50, yes, because our condition was, our criteria was values less than equal to 50. So I got this value. 49 is also allowed, and so on. Okay, so let's take one more example. It says that the name cannot be more than 15 characters. Alright, let me tell you more about the validation first. So you go to data, validity. In this you can see under the criteria there are different options. First is whole number, that you already know, number starting from 0. Decimal is the number with the decimals. Date, there is date, time, cell range, list, and text length. Okay, I'll explain all this one by one. Now let's talk about this text length. I just got this question, that was that name cannot be more than 15 characters. Okay, so on this column, let's say I want to create a column name, and on this column I want to apply the criteria validation, that is text length. Text length means how many number of characters are acceptable in this column. So I said numbers greater than 15 is not allowed. That means less than equal to, was it the question? Cannot be more than 15 characters. Okay, yeah. So less than 15 is allowed. Say okay. And let me make it let me change the question so that it will be easy for you to read. Let's say the question is name more than 5 character is not allowed. Okay, so I go here, so I say less than equal to 5 and press OK, and make sure you have enabled this option and you have made it stop. Okay, so if I say some name, some random name, um Aman Preet, how many characters is that it has? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And this should not be allowed. And I got the warning invalid value. And if I say Aman, it has 4 characters, the value is allowed. And don't confuse your characters. Like if I insert the value like 987654, uh, will this value be accepted or not? It will be, because the number of characters are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it is accepted. It's going to count the number of characters, okay? And 987, all digits are your characters, all alphabet are your character, even all special characters, special like symbols, they are your character. For example, if I say, okay, so how many characters it has? P1, then this dash, and then 4, 6 characters, not accepted, because there are 6 characters. Let me say P R Y A. How many characters it has now? 5, and it is accepted. Okay, so it's going to count the number of characters. So let's move to the next example. Section column can have only 3 values. Okay, now if you want to make like a drop down menu and you want to pick the values from already predefined menu, then you can use the third option under the data validity. Let me add a column section here. On this column I want to apply data validity. Okay, we are already done with whole numbers. Then I explain you text list later. Now let's go to list. If I choose this, it says that entries. So in question I had Q1710, that was 11, Q1722, Q1733. So I have inserted the values here, and if I press OK, you can see there's a you start seeing this symbol along with the column, and if you click on this, all 3 values that are inserted in the list are present here. Okay, so I can pick the values quickly from the drop down menu, makes the task easier. Let me enter some value which is not present in the list. Okay, some random value, and I got the warning because I cannot insert any value which is not already not present in the list. Okay, so the validation is also checked even in this case. In data validation there was one more option that is not clearly defined, which is cell range. If I click on this, you can say it gives you one option, that is source, and it says that the source can only consist of contiguous selection of rows and columns, or a formula that results in an array or area. Okay, so basically if you want to pick certain values from the sheet itself, you can use this option of source. If I click on here, let me select all these values, like all these values. So I selected these 6 cells. Click expand, it will shrink. Click on this, it will be expand, and press OK. So if you can see, oh, I think I have done something wrong. Let me perform it again. Data, validity, cell range was sheet. That was okay. By mistake, I have selected the wrong cell range. So I'll go back over here. And okay, this is starting from B2 to C4. B2 to C4. That's fine. So go back and press OK. So if you can see here, all the values which I selected from like this source has been listed over here. So I can pick the values from the sheet itself. Okay, so that's how you use cell range. Okay, next one is date of birth less than 1 January 2017 allowed only. Okay, so go back to, let's say, date of birth column and validation. If I go here, I have this option of date, and I say less than, question was, keep forgetting the questions. Okay, no worries. So date of birth less than this is not allowed. That less than 1 January. Okay. Sorry. I'm mistakenly. I don't know what was going on in mine. Okay, so date of birth less than 1 January 2017 allowed only. Okay, so go here. It has to be less than. Okay, now see, in this case you should know the what's the format of the date. Okay, so let me check what's the format, because I don't know what's the format for this spreadsheet. So if I say this, it's auto completing. It says day, month and year. Okay, I'll use this format. That was just to know the format. Okay, so I'll go to data. Let me select the column first. Data, validity, and we had date option less than 1st Jan 2017. As per the format, this represents your day, 2 letters for your month and 2 letters for your year. And if I press OK, now if I go here, let's say 12 slash, okay, 12 of March 2015, it is accepted. If I say 19th of May 2017, it is also accepted, but it should not. So let me go back again and see what's wrong with it. Validity less than 1/1/2017. Oh, I told you we have to enable this option. I haven't checked this option, that's why it wasn't working. So press OK. So now let me enter the value 19th of May 2017. And as you can see, I got the invalid value message. Okay, so it's also working fine. Let me add some value which was less, because that validation wasn't performed earlier. So February, let's say 2012, accepted, fine. And there's one more. If say, let's say if I add 29th of February 2017, 2015, okay, and even then I got the wrong value, because I have set the allowed value as a date. So the date will be matched with the calendar, and we don't have 29th of February in 2015. Okay, so that value, because it's the type of date, that will also be checked. Okay, so that's a like additional feature here. Let me see if anything else is left. So similarly, the way you have date option, you can also perform for time. and the way you have a whole number, you can also look for decimal. There's one more option here, that is input help. Now what's the meaning of this? Let's say input, see your validation, they work after you insert the value. You insert value, those are verified with the validation, then you get, then you are allowed or not allowed depending upon the criteria to insert the values. So if you want to provide help in advance, you can also use this option. So let me say I want to provide a help here. I have chosen this column, go to data, validity. Our criteria was fine. In the input help, I want to show the message. Let's say roll number, please, oh, sorry, please insert the values between 1 to 50 only. Fine. So if I press OK, error alert is fine. So press OK. So if you can see, as soon as I click anywhere, I got this help in advance. So if I, this is like you're giving them information in advance. Okay, this should be allowed. So just for the, just kind of help for the sake of input. Okay, that's it. That's how you perform validation in openoffice calc or spreadsheet. And have a nice day.